Some of the most goddamn annoying advice that I hear all the time that no one really ever asks for is just be yourself, be genuine, be authentic. My name's Professor Nick, and today I want to play devil's advocate and tell you why you should not be yourself and you should definitely be somebody else. For more life-changing wisdom, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you stay notified and don't miss anything. So one of the issues that I have with this piece of advice is that it's very poorly defined to begin with. How exactly do you be yourself? What does that look like? What is the actual action that I'm taking there? I don't get it. It's quite abstract. And the other thing about this piece of information is it really assumes that the self is a static, unchanging entity, and that's not the case at all. You yourself are not even one person, if you really think about it. You have your conscious mind, you have your critical mind, you have your subconscious mind, your unconscious, your ego, your superego, your shadow. You are not even one person. What you are is a collection of ideas, beliefs, behaviors, and values. These things can and do change. Let's consider for a second the example of the chameleon. Why does no one give the chameleon shit? Why does no one ever look at the chameleon and say, hey man, you're changing colors, that's not cool, that's inauthentic, you should just be yourself? No, this is an adaptive survival behavior by the chameleon. It has to do this to blend in and to survive in that environment. And what I'm here to tell you today is that we are also chameleons and we do the same exact thing. We have to calibrate our behaviors based on our environments, right? Are you seriously gonna tell me that you act the same way at work as you do at a bar? How about at a funeral? Do you talk to your boss the same way you talk to your girlfriend, the same way you talk to your bros, the same way that you talk to your grandma? Probably not, and I'm glad that you don't. We become very, very influenced by our surroundings. You become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time around, and what you're gonna find is you pick up their traits, their beliefs, their values, you acquire the same energy levels, you acquire the same speech patterns, you start thinking and acting the same way, believing the same things, and having the same concerns. Your reality merges. This is because we tend to survive by a group dynamic. The next thing that really rubs me the wrong way about this piece of advice is the dynamic between who is giving and receiving the advice. It really, really bugs me. So first, let's look at the person who is giving the advice saying, just be yourself, be authentic. Okay, what I have to say to you, if you gave this advice to someone else, you are a very, very privileged person. You are very, very fortunate. What this means is that you yourself had the luxury, you had the privilege of finding that your default set of interests and behaviors was compatible with your environment, and you got socially reinforced. You got validated and approved for what you did, and that's not the case for everyone. Let's say that you were a boy growing up somewhere and you loved fishing, baseball, and watching NASCAR. Depending on where you live, this might be a very acceptable set of interests and behaviors, and you might have fit in and got socially reinforced, positively reinforced, and then those behaviors got cemented into your personality, so no wonder it's easy for you to say, be yourself. But somewhere, there was a boy who was playing with Barbies, and that kid didn't get to be himself. He didn't get that luxury. So now let's look at the other side. Let's look at the person who's receiving the advice. You're telling this person, just be yourself, be authentic. Do you not think that that's the very first thing that they tried? Do you not think that they already tried being themselves? It didn't work. Their default behaviors, their upbringing, their beliefs, whatever, was not compatible. They got negatively socially reinforced, and that's why they're trying something different. You want to encourage people to be themselves, but the truth is, the authentic self of many people is very ugly, and it might not be compatible. What if somebody is authentically an asshole? What if somebody is authentically a racist piece of crap? Are you gonna tell them to be themselves? I am autistic. I have high functioning autism. My brain is a supercomputer, but it makes things very difficult for me sometimes. For example, routines, sensory stimuli, it's very, very much for me. It's a lot. So if I was just gonna be myself and be my authentic self, I wouldn't even make eye contact with you. And for that matter, I probably wouldn't even leave the house because the outside world can be very intimidating sometimes. There's a lot of stimulus. But I forced myself outside my comfort zone. I want to connect with people, so I acquired skills and I changed my behavior and I became a better self, and that's what you should do also. Example of this, eye contact could be very difficult for me growing up, but it wasn't acceptable to just be myself and look at the floor and avoid people. That's not cool, that's not empathetic, you can't connect doing that. So I developed an adaptation. What I can do sometimes, or what I had to do for a very long time, was look in between people's eyes. because from the other person's perspective, it looks like I'm giving eye contact, but then it's not quite as intense. So this is an example of an adaptation that I had to build to survive for my environment. Same thing with extroversion. I am a very outgoing, very extroverted person, but I wasn't always that way. So this is the other thing about being yourself or whatever, is that it can change. Whenever you do a new behavior, in the beginning, it's gonna be awkward, it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's not gonna feel natural. So for example, when I made a commitment to be more sociable and have more interaction with people, I forced myself to talk to strangers, make small talk in the grocery store, give people compliments, and it was so uncomfortable in the beginning. Now it's second nature. I do it unconsciously without even thinking about it. It has been integrated through repetition into an unconscious behavior pattern into my long-term personality. So where does all this leave us? Am I just encouraging you to be a fake, to be a phony? No, I want to take yourself out of the equation altogether. So what I have to say to you is this: consider the outcome you want, consider the results that you want out of your life, the kind of job you want to do, the kind of people you want to hang around, the kind of health and lifestyle that you want to have in your life. And once you have a crystal clear picture of that outcome, you just behave in the way that's going to generate that. If you want to make a lot of money, you might have to start a business, you might have to get clients. That means you might have to learn how to do sales or be convincing or learn marketing, right? Do not limit yourself by that little narrative and those beliefs that you've had. You can change them. You don't have to be that person. If you are a sad, depressed person, that's not even you just being yourself. It's just an accumulated behavior pattern. You can change it. You can change it today, I promise you. If you are living in a state of fear and scarcity, you don't have to do that anymore. I'm telling you that you can stop. You can build new neural connections in your brain, new beliefs, new behavior patterns, and acquire a new personality and become that better self. If you want to know more about this, there's a really excellent book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and you should totally check it out because it's all about this. So listen, this is a very heavy topic, you guys, so I want to reach out to you. If you are struggling with your identity, trying to figure things out, and trying to live a more fulfilling life, then I want to talk to you. Reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM. I would love to connect with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is Professor Nick signing off. Be sure to subscribe, leave me a comment below, let me know what's on your mind, and be sure to stay tuned for more fantastical videos. I will see you next time.